Like many, you may think that grinding out your work is the best way to get things done. But in this video I'm going to show you a much easier way to achieve peak productivity. You don't have to constantly force yourself to do things you don't want to do to get there. So today I'll show you techniques to stay consistent and get work done while enjoying the journey towards your goals. Many of these ideas come from the book Peak Performance, which I highly recommend. The first lesson is stress plus rest equals growth. This is the key to long-term productivity. It's about finding the perfect balance between stress and rest. You can't have one without the other. Think about building muscle at the gym. If you place too much stress on your muscles, you'll injure them. But on the flip side, if you spend too much time resting, you won't see results. To achieve the outcome you're looking for, you need to find the right balance. So remember, stress plus rest equals growth. The key is to find the right balance for you. Lesson 2. Realize the importance of rest. The most difficult part of achieving the ideal stress and rest balance is to make sure you're giving yourself enough time to rest. In today's world, we tend to glorify people who work all hours of the day and live on 4 hours of sleep. We're told that if you sleep too much, you're lazy and you won't get anything done. But this just isn't true. When you look at high-performing athletes, they know that rest is vital after a tough workout. Without it, they wouldn't be able to recover the energy they need for the next session. People often celebrate the grind. But if your car started grinding mid-journey, you wouldn't think, great, I'm making awesome progress. Your car might survive the rest of that journey, but you know that it's likely to break down in the future. So you'd stop and try and figure out what's causing your problem. You should look at your productivity in the same way. If whatever you're working on starts to feel like it's grinding, then stop and figure out why. This is where Gary Vaynerchuk and I disagree. He promotes the idea of sacrificing everything when you're young to achieve more later in life. He didn't socialise much when he was younger because he was working all the time, and he paints this lifestyle as something you have to do to succeed. But why? Why on earth would you want to work in that way? You can achieve the same results while enjoying the process rather than grinding it out. It's important to realise that peak performance doesn't require 100% of your capacity. 60 to 80% is enough. So don't feel guilty about getting the rest you need. It's the key to your productivity and it will make you happier and more energised. Lesson 3. Appreciate the value of sleep. Like I said, sleep is often associated with laziness, notions that CEOs should live on 4 hours of sleep, and quotes like, "I'll sleep when I'm dead," are celebrated. I used to think this too when I lived on 6 hours of sleep each night, but after researching more about sleep, I realised I'd be much more productive if I slept for longer, and it's true. I now aim for 9 to 10 hours each night and have never been more productive. When you miss out on sleep, neurotoxins build up in your brain, which cause memory loss, problems thinking, and weaken your immune system. According to the book The Chimp Paradox, when you lose sleep, the blood flow in your brain moves away from the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain used for planning, complex cognitive behaviour, personality expression, decision-making, and social behaviour. There's a really interesting idea in the book Why We Sleep by Matt Walker. Millions of years ago, when we first evolved, sleep was actually a pretty dangerous thing to do. You left yourself vulnerable to attack from predators, but even so, we didn't evolve around this, because sleep is so important for our brains, particularly in clearing up the build-up of neurotoxins. Also, it's during sleep that your brain processes your memories, so you can retain all the information you learned that day. When you have more sleep, the blood flow is focused in the prefrontal cortex, so you're better at problem solving. If you spend an extra hour in bed, you'll save the time throughout the day by working more efficiently through the tasks on your list. Lesson 4. Find the way that works for you. Everyone's different, so there's no one-size-fits-all. Recently I spent a whole week testing different ways to rest, playing video games, having a bath, exercising, playing guitar, spending time with friends and reading. I wanted to find out what worked best for me when I needed to recharge. Overall, 9 to 10 hours of sleep each night, seeing my friends, and nutritious food gave me the best results. Spend some time testing different things to see which helps you recharge the fastest. The faster you recharge, the sooner you're ready to tackle your next task. Different things work for different people. When I'm alone, playing video games doesn't work for me. But when I play with friends, I really enjoy it and it helps me refocus. It sounds like an unusual thing to do, having all this time off to test different things, but when you're trying to be more productive, it really does make a difference. When you find something you love doing, it's a really useful tool to help you unwind and recharge. Improvement Pill did a video called The Truth About Video Games, which talks more about this. So test different things to find what helps you recharge the fastest. Lesson 5. Focus on the 20% that matters. When you're working, you don't want to waste your energy on pointless stuff. Being busy and being productive are very different things. There's a rule called the 80-20 rule, which states that 20% of your work will give you 80% of the results, while the other 80% of the work will give you the remaining 20%. So focus on the most important 20% to get the best results. The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss explains the 80-20 rule in more detail, and I'd highly recommend you read it. Lesson 6. Keep testing. Keep testing and improving your processes. Keep tweaking and changing your approach until you find the ideal balance between stress and rest. Try out different ways of working. I found that batching my videos really helps my productivity. So I plan them all in one day, do writing sprints on a different day, and then edit on another day. I found that switching between tasks slows me down, and batching means I can get into a flow of a particular task without distractions. I've also found that working Monday to Friday and ending my workday at about 3 p.m. has really helped. But maybe a different schedule will work for you. If you have a full-time job, you need to figure out how to best fit in the projects around your work and home life. Keep testing, reviewing and improving your process until you find the right balance for you. Work hard, rest harder. Just before I summarise, I want to say this video is brought to you with the help of Audible. Using the link in the description of this video, you can get any audiobook of your choice for free. I'd highly recommend Peak Performance by Brad Stulberg and Steve Magnus. They take lessons from top performers all around the world in many different fields, and they go into so much detail about how to optimize your process and perform at your peak while avoiding burnout and enjoying the process. So to recap, stress plus rest equals growth. Realize the importance of rest. Appreciate the value of sleep. Find the ways that work for you. Focus on the 20% that matters. Keep testing and iterating your process. Please like this video if you found it useful and consider subscribing for more.